guys, thank you for joining in for another episode of Talkers vs. Doer. We are so excited to have you guys here with this amazing guest. First, we always got to get a shout out to Turning Films. Thank you guys. But as we talk about this awesome guest that we have, I'm so excited because it's his first female entrepreneur on here. So we're gonna rock this thing. We always got to get a shout out to the ladies to come in, and we're gonna rock this thing and talk. You have some amazing things going on, Ms. Watkins, and I'm just so excited to hear about those things and the people you're networking with within the community as well. So we're gonna just jump right in and just let us know a little bit about you, a background, where you from, or anything else you feel that our audience need to know about.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Erica, first of all, for even having me. It's very exciting to be on your show today. But I'm Anita D. Watkins, mom of 3 amazing boys. That includes twins. Okay. And I'm also a wife, going on 13 years, actually, in November. November 8th will be our anniversary. So we're going on 13 years. Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. And I graduated from Ramsey High School. Okay. And I ended up going to Lawson State Community College to get my license to do hair. Because I wanted to do hair so bad.
Cougars, yes.
So badly. And so when I went to do hair, it was very fulfilling. And during those years, I was a cosmetologist for like almost 16 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
16 years in which I owned my own salon. And actually ended up pivoting from doing hair to now being a certified professional life coach.
Entrepreneur. You've been there for a while. Yeah. Yes. So what happened with that pivot from hair to life coach? Just kind of take us there, why you decided to go in that area.
Well, actually, it was a hard pivot. I'll be honest. It was a very hard pivot because hair was something that I loved. So, I mean, just the fulfillment that I received from doing hair, because you have these ladies, you're doing their hair, and I'm very meticulous, as it relates to doing hair. But you have these ladies coming in, so not only are you their hairstylist, but you are their counselor. You are
definitely,
they come in sometimes bogged down with life, and so you are their life coach, So I was actually doing this.
That's what I was gonna say. Like you said, when we go into the shops, yes, just like y'all fellas, we know y'all go in there and talk. We do talk too. So yes,
right. So you are everything for them as their stylist,
right?
And so there was already a passion to want to work with women, and so what really led me into becoming a certified life coach, I was in a car accident in 2016, right after I opened my hair salon. And I ended up injuring my hand and my shoulder.
Wow.
Had to have surgery on both. And I was out for quite some time. And I had a girlfriend of mine. Her name is Ty Miles. I love her to death. Her name is, she actually asked me, she said, if you can't do hair, what else are you going to do?
Wow.
Being my best friend, she already knew that me working with women was something that was a passion of mine, and it was a love of mine, you know? And so she said, I think you should get certified to become a life coach and then pivot to doing, working with women, the women that you would want to do. At that time, I wanted to work with wives.
Okay.
And so that's why I went to get my certification to be a life coach, so I could work with wives. Women, it was still the main reason, you know what I mean?
But you just had that certain niche in that area that you wanted to work with. But I like to go back and just say, I think that it's amazing that your best friend did that, because we sometimes forget that B, C, D, and F.
Absolutely.
We're so focused on that one thing, and she really told you, hey, what else will you have to lean on? And I think that's a big thing that we're learning in entrepreneurship too, that anything can happen at any time. And we always go back to this pandemic. We never know when a job is going to do something or when something is going to go. So you definitely got to have that B, C, D, E, F. I try to write the whole alphabet out. I'm constantly playing, and I'm like, look, what is my next thing? Because if this going to work, I know it's going to be something that I'm going to be great at that's going to make everything work. And like you said, it goes back to your niche was wives, though. It was women, but you still want to work with wives. So more detail of just why you want to work with wives and what was your transformation to work with them and what you do.
So I wanted to work with wives because I wanted to show women, when I got married, there were a lot of things that I didn't know. A lot of things that I had to learn, a lot of things that my husband actually helped me to transform into the wife and the woman that I am today. Okay. And so I just wanted to make sure that other women could have the opportunity to know how to be that good wife, and aside from that, understand that it's okay to be a good mom, be a good wife, but also don't forget about yourself.
Well, definitely. And I think that's the biggest thing, especially in relationships. Definitely, I would say in marriage or being around individuals, you can't forget yourself. Sometimes we get so caught up in what's going on in life and things around that we forget about you. And I'm always asking people when I'm talking to different people is, when has the last time you became the best version of you?
Absolutely.
When have the best version of you show up? Because sometimes you put that best version in the kids, you put that best version in that husband. But when have you just said, it's me? I want to be me.
That's right. Absolutely. And that's the reason. So during the pandemic, going back to the pandemic, like you said, a lot of my friends and that were hairstylists, when things start to really turn into like shambles, they didn't know what they were going to do.
Right.
And I was just thankful, like you talked about, having that A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
right.
That whole alphabet under
all of it.
It was amazing that I had that already under my belt, being a certified life coach, and I had those moving parts, being a life coach and the different things that I had already put into place.
Definitely.
Had I stepped away from the chair, and so a lot of, like I said, a lot of those stylists didn't know what they were going to do. Wow. And so with that being the case, during that time, I think I was away from the chair about 6 months. I say, you know what, my best friend, which is also my business strategist, that's my business consultant.
Yes.
So we were taking, we were doing some trainings or what have you. And she said, let's write an ebook. I said, okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, let's write an ebook. So I got to writing because I had the time, had the pandemic not happened, I would have never had the time to really focus on what I wanted to do with the life coaching business. Okay. And so I started writing the book, and it wasn't going to be a hard copy. It was just going to be an ebook. But as I began to write, I said, you know what? Let's just go ahead and see if I can turn it into a hard copy, a full book.
And so dig deep in there. So what is the book about? Give us just some detail of the book.
So the book is, first of all, Live Your Best Wife Life, how to be an amazing wife as well as an amazing mom. And so that book is basically about, I thought about myself as a wife. There would be times where I would, and I still do this, and this is not something that's a right or wrong thing, and I tell wives this.
Okay.
This is not a right or wrong thing. We cook food, then we fix our husbands and our children's plates first, which is not a wrong thing. But it's a custom that we do that has created a perpetual thing that we do as women, putting everything else before ourselves.
Wow.
And instead of us being at the top of our to-do list, even with business, even with certain things that we aspire to do, as entrepreneurs, or, going for that raise on your job, a lot of times we think about it, but we put it in the back of our minds and at the bottom of our to-do list, because we are always thinking about others and what they're going to think, how they're going to feel if I think about me, or if I go about doing things about me, concerning me or what have you. And so that's what the book is about.
Do you think that's just a nature of us as women, that we always do that or feel that it's okay? Or is it something that we just grew up in a lifestyle that was custom and we're still trying to do something that our grandparents and parents told us that we should do?
Absolutely. I think that, us as women, we're nurturers. We're natural nurturers. And so you grow up and you see mama, doing this. You see grandmother doing this. And like you said, we pick up those belief systems. We pick those belief systems up. And some of which we see them, but also hearing them. And we just begin to pick those up. And it causes us, instead of asking about the why is this done? Why are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
We just pick it up and we continue doing the same thing.
That same cycle.
The same cycle,
Mm-hmm.
which creates limited beliefs within us as women, understanding our value and our worth, self-worth, to even know that we are more capable to doing things than what we really that's what we really recognize.
Yes. Okay. I love that, going back to that value and that self-worth. And that's when we got to talk about that. Like I said, being on here on this podcast, it's all about talkers versus doers. And as women, sometimes we lack doing it for ourselves. We lack understanding our value. We lack letting people know that, hey, we are here too. We are just as important, especially when you are a wife, as you say, that has a lot. So is there anything in your book where you're actually pivoting, saying, what should women do if they're in your shoes that you were before? How can they change that? How can they actually put that out there? And being an entrepreneur too, because it's a lot. What can they do to make sure that they are feeling value and feeling their self-worth?
Well, so I got to tell you this. So I have pivoted again. Like you said, the A, B, C, D,
Yes.
E, F, G. So when I wrote this book, it was for wives and moms. And when women began to buy my book, a lot of them who weren't married, some of which who weren't moms, were gaining they felt like they were gaining incredible information just as a woman, period. So I said, you know what? I now not only want to work with wives, but I want to work with all women. Whatever your status is, whether you're a mom, whether you're a wife, whether you are a womanpreneur, whether you are in a career field that has been the love of your dreams, the career of your dreams. I want to work with all women. So now that's what I do. I work with all women now, whether you are, whatever your status is. And I did that because of that very fact. I had so many other women say, well, do you work with can you work with me? You know? And so I call it, I help women boss up.
Boss up. Give me those acronyms, because I seen on your website, but I'm going to get an audience your acronyms to boss up.
So I help women be bold, owning their space strategically and successfully.
Yes.
And I ended up, again, going through Transformation Academy to have training in rational emotive behavior, which is dealing with your mindset and the limited beliefs that we spoke of earlier. Those limited beliefs that's stopping you from seeing your worth, that's stopping you from seeing your value. And so how do you do that? You have to learn how to be bold and owning your space, meaning understanding that in this world, there's enough for you, there's enough for me, there's enough for
everybody. You gotta boss up. Boss up. Yes, that is space. So I love it. So we're working on that. You've already jumped into it, said you are going back and you're working with all women now.
All women.
Not just that. Are there any other things that you are working on and striving to accomplish that you want people to know? Or you just feel that, okay, I'm finna walk on this faith walk and I'm finna do this as well?
Erica, oh my God.
Open it up. Cause she's an entrepreneur now. She's an entrepreneur, so I want her to open it up. That's what it's all about. Let these entrepreneurs know that you can do it. Don't just talk about it, because I want you to kind of open up and tell more. You got a lot of more other things.
I have so much going on. So my husband and I, we have a sea moss and elderberry business. So we make sea moss, we make elderberry, and that all came out of the pandemic as well.
And I gotta try that. We can. Don't
Don't
forget about us.
Right.
You
gotta do it.
Oh, she called it out. We're doing it. Y'all got something in the car. I love it.
So we make elderberry and sea moss, and that business is really, it really, oh my God. It started going before we could even keep up with it, how it has been really going really well. So we're doing that. We also work for a company, Media to Millions, with Dr. Avis DeWeaver. Avis Jones DeWeaver.
We gotta just Before we go forward, because once again, that's another female entrepreneur. I love her. I've actually had the pleasure of going into some of her classes. So if you could just tell a quick second of just about Dr. Avis and what she do, I think a lot of people know, especially entrepreneurs, the significant, because she has a great
She's
background
phenomenal.
as being a divorced woman and everything. And I love it. I'm following, and eventually I'm going to get connected and do more, slowly but surely. But I'm on her email list and everything. So I want you to just tell a little bit about her, and what she does. Just tell me real quick what she do.
Yeah, Dr. Avis has over 20 years in the media. She worked with, she's been on Dr. Roland's show plenty of times. But Dr. Avis has her own company, Media to Millions, where we help entrepreneurs, all entrepreneurs, whether you're service-based, product-based, gain more visibility in the media, whether that's all media platforms, that's social media, whatever the media platform it is. We help you to understand how to gain more visibility so you can have more profitability.
Yes, profitability. I like that.
More money.
Yes.
Where
the money reside, where the money reside.
Exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we're doing that with her company. And it's just amazing because within her company, we're still able to do and be what we are aspiring to be as entrepreneurs ourselves. So it allows us and affords us the opportunity to continue to do what we are aspiring to do, check off our goals on our list, as well as work for this amazing company.
Yes. Yes, definitely amazing. Thank you for sharing that, because she's all over. I've seen a lot of stuff on MSNBC, different places.
Absolutely.
So you guys are very connected, and that's one of the biggest things I always talk about on this show is the connection and networking with other people is very important. We get into this field of this world of entrepreneur or just business owners and feel we can do it ourselves, but that connection, it's amazing. It helps the job. It makes the job easier. It flows better when you're networking, you're working with other people on that aspect. So great with that. You're doing that. You have your elderberry, and what are some other things?
Well, the life coach, the elderberry and sea moss, my husband and I, we are aspiring to, he's opening up his food truck business. And so we just have.
Is this a new drop? This a new drop?
Yes, this is the new drop.
Look at here, Talkers versus Doer. Talkers versus. So I want you to look in there and say it, because look, I'm looking over here, Landon. Right. We always. If you want to be on Talkers Doers, this way it's at. You hear all the exclusive and the new things here on Talkers versus Doer, because we're not talking about it. We're doing it. So what? Go ahead. Let the audience know what he doing. What the husband doing?
Mikey's Hot Dogs. We are getting ready to open up and start his food truck business.
Yes. And he's in the studio, so she had to look over there and make sure and get a cue. It's okay. And he like, yeah, it's okay. We about to make this money. I love it. Keeping it in the family. You guys are working together, doing some amazing things, because he also works along too with the coaching up under Dr. Avis. Okay. So how great is that, working and fulfilling what you want to do with your husband?
It is very fulfilling, because of course we both have had 9 to 5s before, and my husband actually recently considered dropping his 9 to 5, making good money, to do entrepreneurship. And the reason why we wanted to do that, because we're very family based, and there are some things going on with our boys where my husband wanted to be home more, as well as be afforded the opportunity, because he's a singer, he's a writer. I mean, my husband can do a million things. We
got to get husband on the show. He have these vocals and stuff. We got to get you on the show too, especially when that hot dog thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, it's as a wife myself, knowing that he has those creative abilities and that entrepreneurship is in his destiny as well, I didn't want him also tied to, that 9 to 5 and all of those creative ideas being, wasted.
Right.
Because if you confine yourself, when entrepreneurship is in your destiny, when that's something that's really on your mind, you gotta have that space, and you cannot allow fear to stop you from going into that path.
I think of talking about what we said earlier, when me and you was just able to briefly talk of, you can't accept no in entrepreneurship. Like, no is not really a word in entrepreneurship. Like
absolutely.
and I know I'm big on that. You tell me no, I just take it as you telling me to come back another day, or not now. Like, I don't accept no anymore. Like, that fear is not there. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So you gonna send me to someone else. Somebody else gonna open that door, but you gonna know I'm here.
I love that, Erica, because the thing is, and I learned this actually from my husband. He was working in banking, and there's a guy that came in for a loan. He said, I've been to several different banks. One told me no, I just kept going to the next one. He said, there's a million banks here. And he said, what really stuck with me, and I even train and say this to clients and everything, what really stuck to me was when he said, somebody has my yes.
Somebody.
And so why that stuck with me, because it showed me the consistency. Consistency is so key to entrepreneurship.
Definitely.
And persistence.
Yes.
Persistence and consistency is key as an entrepreneur, because we go back to not being afraid of no's. It takes persistence to keep going when you are faced with those types of obstacles, because as an entrepreneur, it's like being in a jungle. You eat what you slay. So the thing is, you got to put forth great effort in entrepreneurship to make the money.
Definitely.
But the thing is, you set your own pace, you set your own goal. So if I have a goal of $5,000 that I want to make for this month with one particular business, now I can reverse engineer that and say, okay, I need to sell this amount. I need to have this amount of clients so I can get to the goal that I have set for myself.
Persistent. Making sure you hitting all those goals off, making sure you checking that list. And like you said, I just love, like you said, it's in the jungle. You hungry. You hungry.
And it's plenty
It's beast mode. Yes. We got to get out there and get it. I love that analogy and just taking that, because we see that a lot, where we hear a lot of entrepreneurs and just business owners sometimes say the field is oversaturated. It's too much. But, going back to that jungle, that lion don't say that. They're going to go out there and get it. If I want it, I'm going to go get it.
If I want it, I'm going to go get it.
And you got to have that. And that's the mindset you got to have. So many of us just want everything handed. But a lot of us wasn't given that, that silver spoon.
Absolutely.
So you got to have that idea that I know I want it. Like you said, I love it. And that's one of the things that also that I work on more in a group base, because I have a 7-week course for entrepreneurs, helping them to realize how to go from a talker to doer. But it's putting it down and playing. Simple. You say you want $5,000. How much that's going to be? What you got to do in the month? You say you want to get $1 million. Well, we do know every day that's what $377 a day. So you know what you need to do every day on your sales or your production to get you there.
Absolutely.
So many people talk about, I know I can get this. I know I get that. But what are you doing?
Absolutely.
How hungry are you?
Absolutely. And you know what? I was telling somebody, a lot of times we get stuck, even as entrepreneurs, we get stuck in the planning phase.
Yeah.
Oh, you done planned out now. You got plan A, you got plan B.
Right.
Everything has been written out. But we operate through fear when we stay in the planning stage.
Yes.
And we do that because we want everything to be perfect. And the thing is, as an entrepreneur, it is not going to be perfect. I hate to say it. You gonna face some challenges, and you're gonna and some stuff, it may not work out.
Right.
I'm just gonna be honest,
and
some stuff
ain't meant to work out.
Absolutely. And you got to already have that in mind so that you won't stay in the planning stage and you can start executing. I tell people you have to come out of the planning stage and eventually enter into execution. That talkers versus doers.
Yes.
It's easy to talk about it. It's easy to talk. I mean, I can have a million things written down on a sheet of paper. I can tell you all day what I'm going to do, what I want to do, but it is not until you actually do something that towards those goals that so you can see what you are aspiring to see, what you are wanting to see happen in your life.
Definitely, and I'm glad you said that, because of people say, I'm planning, but you went on ahead and said it. It's okay to plan, but what actions are you doing?
What action?
You have to actually do it. We want you to plan, but you got to know it won't be perfect. Firm example of me, it won't be perfect. We up here getting and we're going in this podcast.
Yeah.
So, but we had to start somewhere.
That's
So everything may not be perfect, but you have to start. The thing is, the knowledge and value that we wanted to bring with Talkers versus Doers for the community was we got to go out there and get it. If we sit there and say, hey, we're going to wait another year, another day, who knows when it would have actually started.
Absolutely. And see, like we were talking earlier, Erica, I'm a Christian girl. So I tell people, I just actually told a client this the other day. I said, entrepreneurship for me is like when Jesus healed those lepers.
Okay.
Before they could get the healing, before they can see the manifestation.
Say, come on, sister.
Before they could see the manifestation of the healing, what did they have to do? They had to go first.
Yes.
They didn't get the healing, then they went. And so I like to liken entrepreneurship like that, as you continue to move,
you gotta go.
Those things that you need to do, your next step gets clearer and clearer. The moment you stop, you forfeit the opportunity for you to get the next steps to where you are supposed to go.
Definitely.
But as you continue to move, whether they telling you no, whether things are working out or not, whether, you don't see how it's going to work out, all of that comes with entrepreneurship. But I'm telling you, as an entrepreneur myself, as you continue to move, those steps, they get clearer and clearer. And the people that needs to be in your path, like you talked about networking, the people that need to be in your path will start to align themselves to
Doors
you as you
will
keep
open
going.
Up. Doors will open up.
Tell about it.
I am a firm believer of that. Like you said, when you keep moving, people that you didn't even think about, or doors or rooms that you didn't even think had a door to open up.
Absolutely.
And I think definitely that for you guys with Dr. Abe's, I'm sure that has been an amazing and open door of being able to walk through that, to just open that information up.
It has. And even to know her, she's such a phenomenal woman and just an open book. Just her heart goes towards entrepreneurship and just teaching people how to monetize your skill set, and so just being around that, because sometimes it's about being around like-minded people.
Yeah,
that is so key, because and even as a mindset coach myself, I tell people, if you're around somebody who doesn't think that you can, then guess what? You're going to start thinking that you can't. So you have to be around people. You can't talk to everybody. Those that don't understand where you are, there were several people. You're going to quit doing this to do that. To me and my husband, you're going to not do this to do that.
Right.
How is this going to work out? And we joke often to say, well, we didn't know how it was going to work out. And when you find out, tell us.
Hey. But we're going to keep on this journey.
We're going to keep on this journey because eventually we do know that things do work out.
And I'm glad you said that too as well, that sometimes you got to separate yourself from your loved ones. It comes a season where it's going to be family, friends, and woes that you love, but you have to separate yourself. Because everybody's not going to understand your journey or what you're doing. And because they're stuck in their mindset, even if you try to explain to them, it would become hindrance to you. Because now you're so focused on what they're thinking, it stop you and blind you from seeing the goal that's already set for you.
Absolutely.
So on this road, I know I had to have a lot of people that I just said, okay, at this point in time, I can't talk to you. I can't speak to you. Because I know the goals that my father had for me. But if I continue to talk to you, you're going to block those goals.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. You don't even have to get mad with them. And I tell people that you don't even have to get mad with those people who don't understand your journey, because people only give you advice according to their capacity.
Right.
So if your capacity is not where my journey is leading me, then I understand that the advice that you're going to give me is only on your level.
Oops. If we had a mic, we'll drop the mic on that one right there. We'll drop the mic. Definitely, people can only give you advice from their level and their standpoint. And if they're not growing, then there's no way they're going to be able to grow with you.
Absolutely. Because
you're growing to another level. We can go on and we can continue to talk. We definitely going to have you back on, especially with the husband as well. Because I'm a talker. And I see we got so much, so we're definitely have to connect and network on some different things coming up. on it. But I didn't want to just stop it right there. I still want people to know where can they find you, where can they get more information, because the networking community, business run entrepreneurs need to understand and hear more testimonies, more understanding. More people need to reach out and get that guidance to being that best wife,
Yes.
that best woman, anything of that nature that they want fulfilled. So if you can just tell them all your social media accolades of how to reach you and how to contact you, we need all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I have an IG and Facebook called the Mrs. Coach, and so they can look up the Mrs. Coach and it'll pull up everything. My personal for the Bossing Up Coach, Anita D. Watkins. And also, if you want to purchase my book, MsAnitaWatkins.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Miss Watkins,
welcome.
for coming on. It has been a blast. Like I said, we definitely got to get you back on. We're starting up fresh, but we're so excited the things that we're going to bring to the entrepreneur community with just bringing talks like this and just being real on there. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining. As always, thank you guys, Turn the Films. And please, all my social medias, Instagram, Talkers vs. Doers. You can find us everywhere. And also my personal MsGemsDropper. Please come on there, check in, drop a follow on there. I would love to see you guys. But always, as we end, don't talk about it. Go out and do it. Y'all have a great day.